So hello and welcome to our March YVSC community meeting. I'm Michelle Stewart, Executive Director of Yampa Valley Sustainability Council, and it's such a pleasure to see you all. We have a really nice list of partners and attendees today, which is such a sign that now is such an important time for all of us to come together to connect and identify ways that we can collaborate to keep action moving forward. YVSC was established as a nonprofit in 2009, and we are guided by the mission to serve as a leader, resource, and catalyst for building a sustainable and resilient Yampa Valley region. These monthly community meetings, as you know, are designed to bring us together to identify common goals and challenges, ways that we can connect, and ultimately collaborate so that we can scale impact and have more impact collaboratively in the region. This month's meeting is our quarterly partner update meeting, which is where we at YVSC and our community partners provide one another with updates and program successes and ways to get involved. And as we know, now is an essential time for on-the-ground actions and collaboration. We look forward to connecting with you all, and hopefully this forum is yet another way that we can come together to support one another and advance local actions that build resilience, health, and vibrancy in our region. We at YVSC would like to clearly state our support for our many federal workers who are currently affected by stress, disruption, and job loss. It is grave to see our exceptional colleagues at U.S. Forest Service, Natural Resource Conservation Service, Bureau of Land Management, and National Park Service undergo such rapid reductions in transformed operations, knowing that they are some of our most dedicated and capable stewards of our regional lands and natural resources that we have in our service today. Many of us have colleagues that we know are missing from the conversation today, and we really acknowledge that. And we ultimately all look forward to finding ways to continue to partner, fill gaps, and collaborate to keep projects moving forward. We know that many of the federal policy changes are affecting people in our community, and now really is an important time to continue to advance climate action, decarbonization, and investments in resilience. Before we move into our community partner updates, I'll just give a bit of an overview on what to expect for today's structure. Following our YVSC updates, I will turn the floor over to community partners for 2 to 3 minute updates, introducing each of our partners in turn. I will bring one of our partners, Jill Hinwood, onto the floor before we start our YVSC partner updates because she is able to join us for a period of time. So that's one break from our usual structure, but following those updates, then we look forward to hearing all of our great partner updates. As usual, please do remember to keep your microphones on mute, and we will have time at the end for public comment. All partners and attendees, please feel welcome to use the chat to share resources and other things that we want to keep the conversation going. I have just a few updates that I will share before we get going into our staff updates. First, we nonprofits know that so much of our value and vision is enhanced through the service and the expertise of our board members. It is my pleasure to share that YVSC is pleased to welcome Deborah Sauerman to our board of directors. Deborah has had family connections in the Yampa Valley since 1972, and she and her husband Roland have been living here on and off since 2007. Deborah joins YVSC with a passion to channel her interests and engagements in climate science and sustainability to useful purpose here in the Yampa Valley. Deborah worked for over 25 years in varying corporate finance roles at ExxonMobil Corporation, and then went on to help grow a family business that's focused on expanding communication throughout rural parts of Alaska. She holds a BS in mathematics from Austin College and a Master's of Arts in Law and Diplomacy from the Fletcher School of Law and Diplomacy at Tufts University, and she had a concentration in international economics and business. Deborah has been volunteering and in the service of our community for over 10 years, working primarily with United Way, and we at YVSC are really delighted to have Deborah joining our board of directors. I think Deborah is going to be joining us on this call today. Deborah, if you're here, please give a wave and welcome to YVSC. We're delighted to have you. I also would like to share a transition that's both exciting and a bit sad, but so our very own Connor Burns, who has been our energy and transportation projects manager now for over a year. He first joined YVSC in 2022 as our zero waste coordinator, and has increasingly grown his expertise and qualifications to really move forward and help support beneficial electrification in the region. Not surprisingly, Connor Burns was scooped up by a larger larger business that's really focused on supporting beneficial electrification. And so Connor will regrettably be leaving YVSC at the end of this month, but importantly, will be scaling up his impacts to support beneficial electrification. So for those of you who have had the pleasure of working with Connor Burns, you know that we will miss him very dearly, but he'll still be living here in the Valley with his wife and will be a great resource. If you haven't had a chance to talk to Connor about heat pumps and other things, beneficial electrification, hopefully you'll reach out to him. So Connor, thank you so much for all you've done, and we really will miss you at YVSC and look forward to keeping in touch. One more staffing update. We are in the process, our review process for an office and administrative associate position that is underway. And then we do also have an opening for our waste diversion coordinator position. That individual will be helping with the Yampa Valley Recycles Depot and other regional efforts to increase waste diversion. Very excitingly, perhaps we have Councillor Muntean will be sharing some of the updates, but the city did just approve moving forward with volume-based pricing for waste handling, so pay as you throw, which is a great opportunity to incentivize residential recycling. And so we look forward to this person supporting our regional partnerships advancing waste diversion. So those are our updates. The last one is, many of you probably received an email from me earlier today announcing the very exciting news that YVSC will be moving our office locations. For those who have come and visited us at our current location at 919 Oak, we'll be moving 3 blocks down Oak Street, which many people are calling kind of nonprofit row. So we'll be a little closer to the community foundation and the county partners there. We're sad to put some blocks between us and the city partnership, but of course we're all very close and walkable distances. We are really excited to be purchasing the building 602 Oak, and Tim Wolganot is joining us from the Community Foundation, and we'll share a little bit more information about the very exciting impact investment program that we are really excited to partner on for that. And also want to acknowledge a strong partnership with Alpine Bank that's really making this first step possible. But YVSC staff and board for over 2 years have been strategically envisioning the creation of a center for climate and resilience in downtown Steamboat Springs. And so moving to 602 Oak is our first step in this very exciting next step. So do stay tuned for more information about the longer term vision for that. And as of after April 4th, please find us at our new office location, which will be 602 Oak Street. And we'll put a sign at our current office, but our P.O. box remains the same. I did have a typo. Unfortunately, our P.O. box is 770705. I'll send out a note, but our mailing address is not changing, but we're very excited to be moving forward on our new office location in downtown. So with that, it is my pleasure. I will first welcome Jill Henwood. She is Executive Director of Yampa Valley Partnership for Students, Sustainability, and Stewardship, which is a nonprofit that has been being formed for the past 3 years about. And so Jill is the new Executive Director, and she has to travel and will be catching a flight. And so I'm going to welcome Jill to the floor, and then we'll move to our YVSC partner updates, or our YVSC updates and the partner updates. So Jill, welcome to the floor.
Hey, thank you so much, Michelle. I'm thrilled to be here, and thank you for also rearranging so I can fit in here before I head out. But as Michelle said, I'm the new executive director for YVPS 3, as it's called, and I'm excited to get to know a lot of you. I'm looking here and seeing names that I've seen in emails and things like that. So looking forward to connecting with you. But one of the reasons I wanted to share today is that we are looking to hopefully establish an internship program. Actually, let me back up just a minute. So for those of you unfamiliar with what we're doing, we're really, we're a partnership of all of the school districts in the region, so South Route, Hayden, Steamboat, and Moffat County, and we're working to help develop career-connected learning and common pathways so that all students in the Valley have access to a variety of career and technical education pathways, ultimately designed to help our students prepare for living and working here in the valley. So, but one of the things that we are going to start off this summer is an internship program, sort of developing a pilot that we can hopefully grow so that it's easy for both industry partners and students at all of our schools to tap into the professional expertise and opportunities around in our region. And so we're looking for a few brave people to be willing to work this summer as we try to develop and come up with a sort of plug and play system that allows for a lot of involvement with students and industry partners in all of the various capacities of career connected learning, whether it be internships or job shadows or mentorships. But we're kicking off this summer with a few internships, and the Yampa Valley Sustainability Council has agreed to host one of our interns, and we have a few others that are in the works. But if you would be interested in helping with this work or sort of being involved in the industry capacity side of potentially hosting an intern this summer and helping us work out the kinks of that, we'd love to hear from you. And additionally, even if you're not interested in working on it this summer, but have some thoughts and ideas for how we can best make a system that's easy for community partners and industry partners to engage with us and continue this work with students, I'd love to hear from you and chat with you to get some ideas of how we can best make that happen. So once again, I appreciate the opportunity. Yes, I'm heading out on a flight, but I am glad that I could come here and share with you what we're doing. And I look forward to getting to know many of you in the next couple of months, couple of years, whatever it takes. So thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Jill. And now we'll transition to our YVSC staff updates. Leading us off will be Connor Burns, Energy and Transportation Project Manager.
Thanks, Michelle. And as Michelle mentioned, it's a sad but very happy time. It's been so amazing working for YVSC, and I really can't thank Michelle and my personal mentor, Paul Boney, enough, and all of YVSC staff. So it's been one of the best experiences of my life. But yes, as she mentioned, there's a beneficial electrification company that is a startup based out of Denver that I will be working for. That being said, I'm still here for 2 more weeks, and we have a couple things that you'll just kind of want to keep a tab on. For one, mainly our energy assessment program. What used to be a $500 cost is now $100. So it's a really good time if you know people that are saying, hey, my bills are so high, and just kind of want to learn more about their home's energy use. It's a great time to sign up for an energy assessment, given the kind of low cost of the energy assessment. Secondly, we just planned our spring ride and drive. So on June 8th, it's a Sunday, you can come and test drive some EVs. So that's kind of what I'm working on in these last couple of weeks. And once again, it's just been an amazing experience, and I can't say enough great things about YVSC. So.
Well, thank you, Connor. And again, it's sad and happy, but wishing every success. Next, we have Jayla Poppleton, our Resilient Water and Watersheds Director.
Awesome. Thanks, Michelle. Hi, everyone. Great to be with you today. I'm the new Resilient Water and Watersheds Director at YVSC, stepping into the role that you've been familiar with Tim Sullivan on our team playing. And Tim is sticking around. He is going to be in a new role as Senior Director of Climate Resilience and leading some key projects for the organization. But I'm going to give today's update for the Resilient Land and Water team alongside a couple other members of that team that you'll hear from after myself. I'm just 2 months into the job and really excited to be joining this community of committed practitioners and citizens. So also similar to Jill, really look forward to better getting to know those of you who I've had the opportunity to know in the past and meeting those of you who I don't know yet. So the few highlights that I'll share today, one, we are continuing as an organization to work in partnership with the Center for Western Weather and Water Extremes based in San Diego, as well as the Colorado Mountain College and the Upper Yampa Water Conservancy District to grow the Y Basin soil moisture monitoring network in the region. And looking for ways to make the observational data that we're gathering through the stations that we've been installing useful to stakeholders. This summer, we plan to install an additional 2 to 3 stations, bringing the total count to between 7 and 8. The ultimate goal is 30 stations throughout the Yampa Basin. So continuing to move that forward. In addition, we continue to participate in a collaboration called the Yampa River Collaborative in partnership with some other NGOs in the region, which include the Friends of the Yampa, our Community Agriculture Alliance, the Nature Conservancy, Trout Unlimited, and River Network. And together we're working to advance a subset of the Integrated Water Management Plan objectives. So one milestone this year that we're all actively engaged in forwarding under the leadership of Friends of the Yampa is the Yampa River Stewardship Plan. So as that's actively moving forward, we're really looking forward to having that as a tool to inform some of the ongoing projects that we implement in the riparian corridor along the river. I'll say just a few things about our forest resilience work, which is in a bit of a period of limbo. We are waiting on the outcome of some of the federal funds that are being processed, as well as capacity to just fully understand the capacity of our federal partners, particularly with the U.S. Forest Service in the midst of what you heard Michelle mention, just a great deal of uncertainty. And yeah, we're very concerned, of course, to see this reduction of workforce with our federal land management agencies. But in the meantime, we're doing what we can do to prepare to move our projects forward. And then lastly, my final update is just that some members of our team are monitoring the proposed housing developments at Stagecoach. We've been getting a lot of inquiries from the public and really working to assess as an organization how we can best answer and direct those inquiries. And so we're working with a number of other organizations to develop kind of an FAQ document of sorts that that we can use to help the public understand the process of decision making that those developments will be going through as part of the stages of review, who the decision makers are, and in the event that they would like to voice their priorities and concerns. So that's how we're approaching that for now. That's all I'll share, and then I'll pass it back to Michelle.
Great. Thank you so much, Jayla. And next we have Ryan Messenger, Natural Climate Solutions Project Manager.
Great. Thank you, Michelle. So just a couple of updates on our upcoming restoration projects this summer. So we're gearing up to continue our work in California Park, restoring wet meadow habitat. This year, we're looking to restore about 1.5 miles of ephemeral streams, which equates to about 5 acres of restored wet meadow habitat. So thank you to the Forest Service for helping us prime this project. We all know they're going through a period of uncertainty, and they've done a really great job helping us get this project off the ground for this year. So a big thank you to them. And then we will also be hosting a workshop up in Cal Park in coordination with Intermountain West Joint Ventures. And that will aim to essentially increase the number of restoration experts available across the West. So lots of great things happening up there. Down here, we are looking to continue our work on the Yampa River Forest Restoration Project. So this year we're planting about 5 sites at Chuck Lewis as a state wildlife area, as well as an additional site on Mount Warner Water, a parcel owned by Mount Warner Water. Last week, we officially got word from the Yampa Basin Roundtable that our grant request was approved. So a big thank you to the Roundtable for pushing this project forward. We're doing some really great work restoring our riparian areas back with lots of cottonwoods and alders and many other trees. And those events, those retree events, will take place in September and October, as they always do. The Yampa Valley Beaver Working Group has received funding to send Emily Burke with Friends of the Yampa and myself through the Beaver Corps training offered through the Beaver Institute. So that group will be able to start offering non-lethal beaver management techniques to land managers throughout the Yampa Valley. If you or your neighbors or you know someone who is experiencing some pesky beavers, please let us know, and this summer we may be able to give you a hand. And then lastly, if you haven't seen it yet, our Natural Climate Solutions report for 2024 is available on the website. You can find that on the Yampa Valley Climate Crew tab. You can check out all of the great projects that we implemented last year. So thank you. I'll turn it back to you, Michelle.
Great. Thank you so much, Ryan. Next, we have Sally Karivu, Resilient Water Program Manager.
Thanks, Michelle. I'm excited to talk about YVSC's newest program today. And we are partnering with the City of Steamboat Springs and Mount Warner Water and Sanitation District and Resource Central to bring Garden in a Box program to the Western Slope. For 2025, the Colorado Water Conservation Board has given a grant to Resource Central to expand into Northwest Colorado. And Steamboat will serve as its newest hub and for the surrounding communities. And this program helps to advance to promote our Yampascaping efforts and our water conservation program locally. So each spring, Resource Central has 2 purchasing opportunities, and we do it in March and June. And then we have pickups also in pickups at the Howelson Rodeo parking lot on June 10th and August 5th for fall planting. And each sale usually sells out. And so these kits are a selection of professionally designed low water garden kits tailor-made for Colorado elevation. And several of these gardens are specifically for high altitudes, and several are 100% native and also pollinator friendly. And so these do-it-yourself kits come with quart-sized perennial plants, a DIY plant by number map, seasonal watering suggestions, and planting recommendations too. So it makes it extremely easy. And these kits are really inexpensive, ranging from $64 to about $200. And one of the exciting parts about this program is each year you can expect to save 5,000 gallons per lawn. So it's really focusing on our water conservation efforts. So we just heard today how many we have sold, and far and away exceeded our expectations. We have sold 138 kits to 90 individual customers. We were given some help from Resource Central with $25 discounts to our first 25 customers. And since we've sold so many, they are going to extend another 25 discounts for our second sale in June. So you can order those online now. You can be at yvsc.org, and we'll send you to Resource Central, where you can look at those kits. And we're pretty excited about the amount of sales and also the demonstration events we're planning in conjunction with Master Gardeners, and excited about the opportunities going forward in future years. So
Great.
That's all I have.
Great. Thank you so much, Sally. Next, we have Ashley Dean, Senior Manager for Collaborative Initiatives.
Hi, everyone. So YVSC serves as the program management entity for the Routt County Climate Action Plan Collaborative. I think most of you on this call are familiar with the CAP, but for those of you that might not be, I'll just briefly provide an overview. In 2021, Routt County adopted a climate action plan that identifies strategies the county can take to reduce greenhouse gas emissions across energy, transportation, waste, land use, and economy sectors. The plan was adopted by Routt County, City of Steamboat Springs, and the towns of Hayden, Oak Creek, and Yampa. And now we have a collaborative structure that facilitates decision-making, tracks the execution of the CAP and associated greenhouse gas reductions, and provides the financial resources to advance the climate action plan. So a couple of updates on the CAP. I think most of you hopefully received the monthly newsletter that went out yesterday, but in that you'll see that we just released the CAP 2024 annual report. So 2024 was our first full year of implementation phase of the CAP. So that report will capture successes across the 5 sectors I just recently mentioned, as well as accountability goals that the board has achieved as well in 2024. And I will drop that report in the chat here shortly. Tim Wolganott from the Yampa Valley Community Foundation will be speaking about this shortly, but another big announcement that was in the newsletter was that the Routt County Climate Action Collaborative Fund is now accepting applications for that fund, and I will let Tim talk about that when he comes up on the queue here. We are continuing to move forward on our climate equity initiative that's being led by Luisa Lombera. This month, all of our CAP working groups met for their quarterly meetings, so she was able to share that climate equity framework with our working groups, get some feedback. The intention is to pass the recommendations through that framework for all the CAP working group recommendations. So subcommittees have been developed to make that work happen and to also develop an outreach strategy to move that initiative forward. I believe Steve Montine with the City of Steamboat Springs will also be talking about the City Council's decision to move forward with pay as you throw. This was a big win for the CAP waste sector. One of the main priority recommendations to come out of that working group was to move this model forward, and I'll let Steve talk a little bit more about that shortly. We are also updating our greenhouse gas inventory. The first one was done in the second one was done in 2018, most recent one. So we are starting again now on an updated 2023 greenhouse gas inventory, working with Lotus Sustainability, who helped us with the 2018 inventory, and we'll hope to have that out in the beginning of summer and use that to help inform some decision making as we move forward. So in an effort to keep it brief, I will leave it at that.
Great. Thank you so much, Ashley. And next we have Dakota Dolan, YVSC's Forest Resilience Projects Manager and also our Internship Program Manager.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Michelle. So in terms of the internship program, we are excited to welcome 3 fabulous young professionals to our spring 2025 internship. And the 12-week program began in the beginning of February and brings our interns into contact with YVSC staff, encouraging them or engaging them in our programs addressing sustainability issues in the Yampa Valley, while also providing them with the training and on-the-ground experience of nonprofit work. Using a project-based approach, participants apply what they learn through the internship to contribute to or expand upon a meaningful environmental project within our community through YVSC. And one of our interns, Willa Owens, was able to join the call, so I'm going to pass her the floor so she can give a self-introduction.
Thanks, Cody. Hi, everyone. It's really nice to see all of you. As Cody explained, I'm one of the 3 interns this spring at YVSC. I also do a lot of work at the Bear Park Permaculture Center on the CMC Steamboat Springs campus, where I'm also in my 3rd year working to earn my bachelor's degree in sustainability. And starting today, actually, I just began a new position working as a STARS student researcher. So I'll be researching and analyzing and reporting on the sustainability methods and practices of CMC, and hopefully figuring out some ways that they can integrate even more practices into what they do. So yeah, thanks so much. It's nice to see you all. Oh, and I'm working on, sorry, I should have mentioned, one of my main projects as an intern this spring is putting together an Earth Day celebration. So that'll be April 17th. As of now, it's planned for the Routt County Community Room, but it may move locations to CMC. That information will be updated as soon as I have it.
Great, thank you, Willa. And not on the call is Bree Hicks and Madeline Paragao. So to give a little background on the 2 of them, Bree grew up in Arlington, Texas, before moving to Fort Collins, Colorado, where she did high school and acquired her associate's degree at Front Range Community College before moving to Steamboat to work for the U.S. Forest Service during the summers and as a ski instructor in the winter. And Bree is working to create a One Rock Dam structure model to be used for training and educational purposes to expand upon the efforts being implemented in YVSC's California Park wet meadow restoration projects. And Maddie moved to Steamboat from Massachusetts 7 years ago, working in outdoor education, and has been the assistant horticulturist at the Botanic Park for the past 2 years. She has her bachelor's degree in biological anthropology from Colorado College and recently completed her GIS certification from CMC. And at YVSC, Maddie is working on creating a data set and GIS map of mobile home parks in Routt County and their energy sources to help inform decision making. She's also updating our public-facing maps for Climate Crew and also assisting with the introduction and collaboration of our new Garden in a Box program that Sally just talked about. So we are thrilled to witness the progress and success of these 3 interns, and we encourage everyone on this call to attend their closeout presentations, which will be held at the Routt County Community Room on Friday, April 25th from 12:30 to 2:30. And there's also a virtual option for that as well. And I'll include the link in the chat for everyone who is interested in that. So thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Cody. And thanks, Willa, for saying hello. It is a stellar group of interns. So I'd just say anyone that is looking to add capacity, please keep them in mind. They're very impressive young professionals in our community. So now it is my pleasure to transition to our extraordinary partner updates, beginning with Commissioner Salinas, Routt County Commissioner with the Routt County Board of County Commissioners. So welcome, Commissioner.
Lots of commissioner words in there. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me today. I think Michelle opened this off really well, but as we navigate these moments of uncertainty, whether it's energy transitions, public lands managements, or federal funding shifts, one thing remains super clear, and that's that local engagement and community partnerships matter now more than ever. And so as your county commissioners, we are committed to ensuring that our voices and priorities are not just heard, but are also acted upon. County commissioners and our county is not sitting back. We're doing everything that we can to advocate, plan, and push for solutions that keep our region strong, sustainable, and resilient, whether that is supporting clean energy projects, standing up for our public lands, or ensuring critical conservation programs remain intact. This work remains top of mind, and we will continue to show up for the people of Routt County. And I will start off my updates with one of the most important things that we are currently doing, which is navigating the Xcel energy transition with the closure of the Hayden coal plant. And with this closure, our community has a unique opportunity to shape sustainable energy future of our county. Routt County commissioners we are actively advocating for redevelopment plans that align with our community values and support economic resilience. We would like to encourage all of you as partners and encourage Yampa Valley Sustainability Council to join us in this advocacy by engaging with the Colorado Public Utilities Commission, the PUC. That process is open and ongoing right now to ensure that Xcel's transition plans include sustainable energy projects and support community initiatives. It's open through April. I'm happy to send over the link, but it's really important that the PUC hears from as many stakeholders as possible throughout this process, and we would love to engage with you guys further on this. So if you have any questions, please reach out to us. If you need help on what to say, please reach out to us. But this is really, really critical. This is the most critical time. We've got about 4 weeks left before that time period for public comment closes. So Routt County's energy future really does lie in the hands of a state regulatory process, and that will determine what role Xcel has in the region's energy economy. And so now is the time to weigh in if you want to about what our energy future looks like. I will transition from that to the Routt Solar project at the Hayden wastewater treatment plant that is moving forward. We are conducting a system impact study with YVEA, which will inform our future costs. We did apply and did not receive a DOLA grant for the microgrid element, so we will need to retool the project slightly. Given federal uncertainty, we do remain concerned about the future of the income tax credit, which was part of the Inflation Reduction Act. So stay tuned for more updates, but we are continuing to move forward with that project. Some fun updates. We are updating the historic courthouse with heat pumps. This will be the guinea pigs for our building electrification efforts. And super exciting as part of our ongoing efforts to promote sustainability. and electric vehicles, the Yampa Valley Regional Airport has installed new EV charging stations in their long-term employee parking lots. I don't know if you guys saw the press release, but these are good to go. The newly installed chargers include 3 dual port level 2 chargers in the long-term parking lot and 2 dual port level 2 chargers in the employee parking lot. And so the installation of the EV chargers was made possible through partnerships with Charge Ahead Colorado, and really does align with YVRA's broader sustainability goals to enhance clean transportation options. So those are my energy updates. I know I only have a couple of minutes, so I apologize that I'm going through this quickly, but want to share as much as I can. So I'm going to switch gears to public lands. So as you know, federal government recently cut a lot of U.S. Forest Service jobs here in Routt County, and we stand firmly against that decision. That decision jeopardizes forest health, wildfire mitigation, local recreation, and so much more. The county commissioners have written 2 letters to the administration, really demanding that these positions be reinstated. They're essential to managing our public lands responsibly, and so we have formally called on the administration to reinstate them. And we are actively working with our legislators at the state and the federal levels to really push for solutions and not sitting back on these decisions that are being made. We've also reaffirmed recently our strong opposition to oil and gas development on public lands within the county. We just submitted yesterday, which is our 3rd letter, our commitment to responsible land stewardship and long-term conservation efforts. And so there's an article in the paper. If you want a copy of that letter, please let me know. But we did submit that letter to the BLM yesterday, really opposing oil and gas development in that area. And finally, we continue to work with Routt County Recreation Roundtable to really address how we're going to prepare for summer visitation and manage our public lands given the absenteeism of the federal government currently. So Forest Service office recently closed, and locally they are not prepared to open this summer. So no in-person permits, maps, things like that. And so Routt Recreation Roundtable is really starting to discuss what is that going to mean for us as we go into this spring and summer. And my last update is with the PDR program. So this week, just on Tuesday, we completed our annual review of all conservation easements under Routt County's Purchase of Development's Rights Program. It was really exciting to hear from all of the easement holders and ensuring compliance. The goal of those meetings is to really ensure compliance and to reaffirm the program's role in preserving our open spaces and natural resources. We found no violations, which is awesome, but more than that, PDR board has formed new working groups, and one of those working groups is public outreach. And so they listed a bunch of community organizations that they want to start collaborating with. Sustainability Council was one of them, along with the Ag Alliance, Friends of the Yampa and others, to really educate the community and engage the community on PDR. It's a very popular program with those who are aware of it, but really how can we get the word out to other landowners, to realtors, to things like that on this program and what exactly is a conservation easement and how the process works. So applications are due in May. And this is a more important time than ever to continue advocating for the program's success and long-term impact. So those are my brief updates. And again, happy to answer any questions later if you guys want to send them to me. So thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Commissioner. Those are wonderful updates. Next, we have City of Steamboat Springs City Councilor Steve Muntean.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. And as Michelle and Ashley both said, I wanted to give you an update and a little description of the pay-as-you-throw program. Last week, City Council received at a work session a presentation on pay-as-you-throw. And it's an effective strategy used by many communities, other mountain communities, to increase residential recycling and composting rates. And pay-as-you-throw basically includes a volume-based pricing, and it's based on the amount of trash residents generate. So simply put, those who generate less trash pay less, and those for their waste services, providing a direct financial incentive to reduce trash and to recycle and compost more. For an example, pay-as-you-throw will offer multiple size trash carts, generally 2 or 3 different sizes. Right now, most of you probably have a 95 quart size trash container. The recycling cart, which is also 95, will stay the same. So if you reduce your trash cart from, let's say, 95 to 65 quarts or even to 35 quarts, along with maintaining your recycling cart at 95, you will pay less for your entire waste bill. So it's really going to help us to increase our diversion rate. The City of Steamboat's diversion rate right now is 14%. Since pay-as-you-throw has been put in place by Vail, theirs has increased to 36%. Aspen has increased to 27%. So we find it to be a really effective strategy. And currently with Apex, as most of you know, Apex Waste purchased both Twin Enviro and Waste Management services and assets. So this is the appropriate time to really explore options and policies that we want to do here. So what we have are two policy kind of mechanisms that we're exploring. One is to expand hauler licensing, which would maintain the current open market, allowing for multiple residential waste collectors. And the second piece would be if the city contracted with just one single hauler to handle all residential collections. And if we went that route, it would follow an RFP, an open RFP process. The benefits to the city of contracting with a single hauler include a consistent citywide list of recyclables, clarity for all residents as to what is recyclable and what isn't, fewer trash trucks on the roads. I mean, sometimes you'll see several different companies on your road on the same day. And it will also mandate certain level of quality that we want, certain level of customer service, pricing for services, should lower trash and recycling costs through economy of scale and group rate pricing. It prevents price fluctuations by locking in prices over longer terms. Its potential to add other city services such as compost, bulky items, seasonal yard waste collection, and others. And it can be implemented in a phased kind of approach with the hauler based on the interest in the RFP. So both of these initiatives, pay-as-you-throw and the hauler contracted collection, as Ashley mentioned, we're part of the Waste Sector Working Group of the Climate Action Plan Collaborative, so we really appreciate that. And what we have done is we've directed staff to continue to explore the single hauler contracted path towards pay-as-you-throw and bring back to council recommendations for policy changes. So that should be coming to us relatively soon. So get ready. You may want to update and change some of your trash cart sizes in the near future. That's what I have, Michelle.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Next, we have Tim Wolganont, Executive Director with Yampa Valley Community Foundation.
Hi, everybody. Good to see y'all. I have two topics to talk to you about. First, the Climate Action Plan Collaborative Fund grant cycle, which I'll describe in a minute. And then secondly, I just want to talk a little bit about the loan that we're providing to Yampa Valley Sustainability Council for their new building. So first on the fund, a very long name, Climate Action Plan Collaborative Fund Grant. It's you don't have to remember the name of that, but just remember that that the Climate Action Plan Board will be issuing grants up to $25,000 for projects that reduce carbon emissions in the next year. The grant application is on our website. If you go to YVCF, the Yampa Valley Community Foundation website, look at the nonprofit tab, and under that, grant opportunities, and scroll down, you'll see lots of grant opportunities, but this is one of them. The application is open now. The deadline is April 16th, and decisions will be made by that Collaborative Action Plan Board, Climate Board, in early May. Again, the main theme is projects that reduce carbon emissions, but the board will also be interested in multiple benefits, benefits to many different community members, partnerships, collaborations, replicability and scalability of projects, a communications plan, and that it aligns with at least one of the Climate Action Plan strategies. So you'll see a rubric there, and you can look at the rubric to see if your application will compete well. So I encourage anyone who has a project in mind to apply. This is the first time that this is the first round from this fund. So we're hoping to get some good projects. Okay, secondly, I just wanted to mention the loan that we're providing to the Sustainability Council for their new building. We started an impact investment program here at the foundation a couple of years ago, and in fall of 2023, we started with affordable housing loans. We've now done 3 affordable housing loans, one in the city of Craig, one in Hayden, one helping the folks in Milner secure the land underneath their trailer homes there. About $15 million in affordable housing loans now. This loan that we're doing with the Sustainability Council, as long as it's approved by my board tomorrow, I think it will be, is the first of its kind to a nonprofit for not a housing reason, and it comes from a different source of funding for us. So we're excited about it because it's testing that idea of using our investment portfolio, which we mostly invest in Wall Street, and trying to bring some of that money local and invest in local efforts here that we think deliver significant social impact. So it's a below market loan to the Sustainability Council to enable them to purchase the property where the building sits, purchase the building and the property, and get started on the expansion of that building. So for you, those of you on the call who are nonprofits, keep that in mind. We'd love to hear from you if you have a need for financing. We're interested in doing other loans, so keep us in mind. That's all I've got, Michelle. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. And we all in the region are so grateful to have such an active community foundation. So both originating and hosting the Climate Action Plan Collaborative Fund to fund projects, and then of course the Impact Investment Fund opportunity. So thank you, and really wonderful resource regionally. Next, we have Todd Hagenbu, Extension Specialist and Director with Colorado State University Extension.
Thank you, Michelle. Good afternoon, everyone. I will try to be quick because I know that we're on a time schedule. First, I am so excited to see that I'm getting new neighbors just across the street right out that window in YVSC. So excited about that. Excited to partner with you all. As Sally mentioned, Garden in a Box. We will be providing some support with the Master Gardeners on that, and also the Routt County Weed Program and Extension will be hopefully there on the days that those boxes are getting dispersed to give out information on gardening and how to control noxious weeds to all those folks who are planting the Garden in the Box. So great partnership there. Thanks to Sally. Appreciate that. If you want to learn how to grow more, the Evenings with Master Gardeners, I'm putting the link in the chat right now, will be held on April 29th and 30th. New this year, of course, we do that in partnership with the Bud Warner Memorial Library. New this year, we'll be doing not only our 2 presentations in the fair type activity that we'll have Sally there with Garden in a Box. We'll have Routt County Wildfire Mitigation Council there, our partners at State Forest Service. But the first night will be geared towards beginning gardeners and people who've just moved to Routt County. The second night will be different, and that the presentation will be geared towards more advanced gardeners. So maybe some of the people on this call would like to come the second night. But if you feel like you need the basics, again, come that first night, the 29th. If you want to have a little fun in a dreary March, I'll put a link also in the chat here. CSU Extension is doing Veggie Madness. It is akin to March Madness. Yours truly has Team Potato, because anybody can grow potato, and we can grow potatoes well in the Yampa Valley. Any of you who joined us this morning for the Ag Breakfast as we celebrate Ag Week, enjoyed local potatoes. Have a little fun and join us for Veggie March Madness, where you can vote for all of the great vegetables. My team, Team Potato, has made it to the Final 4. So I need your votes today. I'll put it in there. And if I win over chili peppers today, we'll be going to the big game tomorrow, the Veggie Madness Championship, and going up against other onions or winter squash. So I need your help. I will put that link in there. And if you want to just laugh your head off, come look at some of the videos that we've posted on our Facebook page about why you should vote for potatoes. Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you so much, Todd, for joining. It's always a pleasure. And I promise that we will not landscape with white top. We will probably do Garden in a Box. So we'll be a proud neighbor for you. Really
Thank you.
Closer, Thank you, Todd. Next, we have Jennifer Holloway, Executive Director with Craig Chamber.
Hi, everyone. I'm glad to see so many friendly faces. Seems like it's been a while. So I'm glad to be here today. Thank you, Michelle, for hosting. And I just have to say thanks to the Community Foundation as well for supporting the Sustainability Council's growth. Really, really appreciated. As far as what's happening in Craig and with the Craig Chamber, of course, we're really busy like everyone else. I guess our main projects that would be the most interesting to you guys would be, of course, Mountain Rail. So I'm involved in Mountain Rail Coalition and excited about the progress that's taken and the opportunity that it could have for our community and giving us more avenues to grow our economy in a sustainable way, as well as just supporting commuters in between the valley. So I'd love any support and cheerleading from you guys on that effort as it comes into your range. Much appreciated. We try to keep up on policy and weigh in on as many water and land use policies, the turf bill, getting a rental car tax on for transportation, trying to keep a voice from this end of the valley on that. So if you are ever in a position where you need another signature or voice, the chamber would love to be your partner in that way. Coming up, I have some focus groups that we're hosting. Several of you have probably received invitations, so I would really appreciate your participation in those focus groups. That information is going to be used by both the chamber and the city of Craig to try to formulate some consensus on our actions as we move forward, both with practices in sustainability and also how we recruit businesses and what industries we support. And so we're really trying to get feedback from a wide variety of folks in different industries. So any of your voices on that would be great, and appreciate the time for those focus groups. Next, I have an event I'd like you all to know about coming up on May 1st. That is an open house for the Yampa building, which is where the chamber is housed. Hope many of you have been here, but it is a repurposed school building that we got put on the historic registry, and we've been forming a lot of community and collaborative support for the building. We have nonprofits, for-profit government agencies, as well as the chamber here. We are opening it up again for full, tours and expose, as our commercial kitchen is now completed. So we're helping to incubate small businesses, cottage industries to scale up, and caterers and other crafts or local classes that can be held there. We are launching our Yampa Building Foundation, which is a 501c3 we recently created to help keep this building viable. So we'll be highlighting that project as well at that open house, which is May 1st, a Thursday, from 5 to 7 p.m. And we will have some good food and drinks. So if that gets you here, that's great. The RTA is something we're supporting, the Regional Transit Authority, which I know many of you are involved with and has huge support from Routt County and all of your towns. The city of Craig is also joining that effort, and the chamber will be very involved in that ballot measure. So appreciate all the work everyone's putting in on that. That could make a really big difference also for Craig to be included in that RTA so that we have the ability to get transportation within our town. And the other thing we're going to be leading on the ballot, which in case some of you might live here, our local marketing district fund is coming up for renewal this fall. So the chamber is leading that campaign, which is a tourism tax on short-term rentals. So, and finally, a really exciting business is popping up here, and the chamber is super excited to support high altitude geothermal. If you haven't heard of that, it's a new company coming out of Moffat County. Christine and Matt Cooper, who I did go to high school with. So it's pretty exciting to see this evolution. And they were awarded the first Rural Jumpstart in Moffat County, as well as they're pursuing plenty of other opportunities for grants and funding. But that business is geothermal pump business that they do intend to create multiple jobs, hopefully running 3 crews, and they'll have a reach throughout the Western Slope. So really excited about having some industry potential, especially in a sustainable field that we all feel really good about. And so anyone wants to get a new heat pump, or they'll be open for business pretty soon.
That's so awesome. Jennifer, thank you so much for all those wonderful updates. Really appreciate it. And it is super exciting that high altitude geothermal is about to go. So definitely fills a regional gap in workforce and such a great opportunity at a really important time. So thanks for all those great updates. Next, we have Drew Peternell, the Colorado State Director with Trout Unlimited.
Thanks, Michelle. Hello, everybody. Drew Peternell, State Director for TU. I live here in Steamboat, but work throughout Colorado. I have 2 people on my team who also live and work here in Steamboat. Ellie Miller has been with TU for a couple years. Parker Cahill just joined us earlier this year. Ellie and Parker are both project managers, so they develop and oversee projects on the ground, stream restoration projects. They work on both public and private lands. The big thing in our world lately, as is true for many of you, I guess, is the federal government funding shutdown. We rely here at TU heavily on funding from the U.S. Forest Service, the BLM, Bureau of Reclamation, NRCS, other federal agencies all provide funding for the work that we do. And when the administration changed in Washington, D.C. back in January, they shut down all that funding. We had to press the pause button on all of our projects, which was scary and unfortunate. But fortunately, federal dollars are starting to flow somewhat again. So we are hopeful that we'll be in a position this summer to get a lot of good projects done on the ground. And I know that Parker and Ellie would be happy to talk to you about those projects or even show them to you at some point. The other thing I want to mention is that earlier this week, Governor Polis appointed Mike Camlin to the Colorado Water Conservation Board to represent Northwest Colorado. Mike is a rancher down near Maybell. We've worked with Mike on a few things over the years. He's a really good thinker on water. So we were glad to see him appointed to the Water Conservation Board to represent this part of the state. And that's all I've got. Thanks.
Great. Thanks so much for joining, Drew, and for those great updates. And next we have Emily Burke. She is Conservation Program Manager with Friends of the Yampa.
Great. Thanks, Michelle. Lovely to see all of you. I'm going to start with an update from Mike Robertson, the Yampa River Fund Manager. Mike says, as part of Pete Vandekar's celebration of life, Gretchen requested donations to the Yampa River Fund in lieu of flowers, and people were very generous. We received donations both for operations and to the endowment in excess of $5,000 collectively. So thank you if you were one of those donors. And then another YRF update is the grant application period for the River Fund ends on April 1st. So it's currently open. You have little less than 2 weeks to get proposals in. Mike says we have several great projects in the works, and we have more funds than usual to distribute this year, about $280,000. And the River Fund is really excited to review and award grants in May to get some good projects underway later this year. Switching gears to our scorecard project, my coworker Jenny Fritzen's working hard on that, and results for the Upper Yampa segment, so from Stillwater Reservoir to Stagecoach, are expected to be released the second week of May. So stay tuned for that. Jayla mentioned the Yampa River Stewardship Program that Friends of the Yampa leads and works with YVSC and other organizations on the call as partners. We're currently crunching through a bunch of stakeholder input that we received and working on developing desired future conditions for the river. And then as Ryan mentioned, we're really excited that we got funding to go through the training for learning how to install beaver coexistence projects and hoping to get some of those projects on the ground this summer. And then just a couple of more events and recreation-based stuff I want to make folks aware of. Please save the date for Riverfest this year. It's going to be May 31st, Saturday. So that's just a great celebration of all of the benefits and resilience and joy that the river brings to the community. We, as most of you know, took over the whole building here at the corner of 8th and Oak when Ag Alliance moved out to their larger space. And we've been in the process of transforming the downstairs into a river center that will be open to the public. So we've got some interpretive panels and displays and hope it will be a hub for educational programming and tourists and residents alike to stop in and ask questions about the river. So we are planning on an opening of that in mid to late June this year. And then finally, just wanted to note that registration for our youth river camps opened last Tuesday, and they're all full except we still have 2 open spots in the Craig camp for July 7th through 10th. So if you know of any middle school aged kids that might want to learn how to get out on the river, please pass that information their way. And that's all I have. Thank you so much.
Great. Great. Thank you, Emily. It's so nice to see you. And thanks for the great updates. Next, we have Katie Stanhope, the Yampa Valley Foods Manager with Community Ag Alliance.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm just going to go through kind of our 3 main buckets and give highlights and then end with an event update in our local foods program. So if you're not all familiar, I'm the Yampa Valley Foods Manager. We're a nonprofit program dedicated to promoting and supporting local ag. And we do that by selling local producers' products on behalf of them. Anyway, we worked with the 3 different local school districts, so the Steamboat Springs High School, Sirocco, and Hayden, to get them to use local beef in their schools to celebrate Ag Day. And we successfully received over 400 pounds in donation from 2 different local producers, and they were able to, and then distributed that to each of those 3 schools for them to use in their meals, which was fantastic. In our education and outreach programs, we hosted the Yampa Valley High School students for a project-based learning session where they came and they learned about what the market does, what the larger organization does, and then they were able to hear from one of our local farmers, Sydney from Mountain Bluebird, about their farming practices, their business model. They got to do carrot taste testing, and then they'll do some price comparisons between us and then our local grocery stores and then also Craig grocery stores. And so I hosted those kids yesterday. That was awesome. We're also in the middle of Ag Week. So Ag Appreciation Week. We've hosted a couple of different events earlier this week. And then we had the Ag Breakfast this morning with the Master Gardeners and Extension and a variety of other folks from different ag organizations in the community. Really just meant to bring people together over a good meal and get them interested and connected with different ag organizations. That was a huge success and a wonderful way to start the day. So thank you to any of you that I know some of you did come, and to the Master Gardeners and CSU Extension. We have a couple more events the rest of the week, but our big one is on Saturday. We're hosting what's called a ranch rendezvous with the Steamboat Social Club, followed by a happy hour and an ag storytelling. So if any of you are available for that, it's on Saturday from 2 to 5 over at the Social Club. And then next week we have, in partnership with other organizations, the State of the River updates and dinners. The first one is in Steamboat on the 25th at 6 p.m. and then on the following day in Craig at 6 p.m. as well. And then lastly, I'll just finish by giving an update for our Ag Resources Department. Patrick Stanko is working on several water infrastructure projects with federal, state, and local funding. And he's leading those efforts. So if you would like additional information about those, I will drop his email in the chat and you can reach out to him directly. And that is all I have.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Katie, it's great to see you.
Yeah, thank you.
Next, we have Ben Cavera, Sustainability Coordinator with Steamboat Ski Court and Resort.
Thanks, Michelle. Hello, everyone. So tomorrow we are going to have our fourth and final Ski with Smokey Bear event here at Steamboat Resort. This has been going on for over the last 8 weeks or so, and we're really thrilled to have them out one last time. And as part of this, this is in association with Yampatica's Ski with a Naturalist program that is run at the resort every Tuesday and Wednesday from 1:30 to 2:30. However, this tomorrow will be especially unique because we're going to have some of our community partners related to fire and fire prevention at the resort to host an event targeted at educating our spring break guests on fire awareness, specifically fire risk. That has been coined the Chilling the Risk event. So if anyone is interested in joining us, please do pop by the mountain. That'll be in the Steamboat Square from 2 to 4. Moving along, the resort is also working on a NSAA, National Ski Area Association grant application to procure renewable diesel to pilot a 99% blend this summer. That 99% blend will help to decarbonize our grooming and heavy machinery or heavy equipment on the mountain, and are hopeful that that pilot can help us to use that going forward. Finally, we are approaching closing day, and as we approach closing day, that means we will be retiring some of our resort uniforms. We're really happy to announce that we're partnering with Refleece, a company that upcycles used outdoor gear. So we're working with them to not only upcycle our outdoor gear, but also hopefully get back some really unique retail items from them that will allow folks to have a piece of Steamboat history. So that is another thing we're really excited about. Wanted to conclude because I forgot to mention it. If anyone else is interested in looking into renewable diesel, we are looking to find other community partners who are looking for that. Having an increased demand will help to get some supply here to Northwest Colorado. So if anyone's interested in renewable diesel or knows anyone interested in renewable diesel, please connect them with me or Paul Boney. Thanks.
Great. Thank you so much, Ben. And next we have Haley Cunningham, Program Manager with Routt County Wildfire Mitigation Council.
Hey everybody. So thank you, Michelle, and also congratulations to y'all on your new building. I know that that's been something on your mind for a long time, so we're really happy for y'all. Okay, so we are partnering with YVSC and CMC to hopefully get an intern for the summer. That intern would be working on filling a need that we have in the community of doing home ignition zone assessments. Currently, Josh and I don't have the capacity to fulfill those requests from residents. We send those requests currently to the fire protection districts, but it is definitely still a need. If they do get to go out, it's in the off season. And of course, during fire season, they do not have the capacity to fulfill those requests. So we're hoping for an intern. We don't have any applications yet, but if you know of anybody who might be interested and fire conscious as a young professional, we would love to interview them. We have our stakeholder conference on April 16th. We may be moving the time around from the initial 11:30 to 5 because our friends at Wildfire Research Center, they were able to resecure their federal funding. So they went from having a total stop work order and looking at releasing everybody from their jobs to having their federal funding opened again, and everybody is back at their job. And we have done 3 studies, one in North Routt, one in Stagecoach, and one in West Steamboat with the Wildfire Research Center to better understand people's obstacles to wildfire mitigation as homeowners and residents, also what their perceived risk of of wildfire to them is, and that will help the council be better informed to what outreach programs and what mitigation programs are going to be best for West Steamboat versus Stagecoach versus North Routt. we know that all of our neighborhoods and our landscape is very different across the county. So we're really happy that they'll get to come back onto the conference schedule, and that will help us take that program from being paused to moving forward as planned. In terms of other programs, we are going to do our chipping program again this year. That's our biggest program, and the mission behind that program is to help people, homeowners and households, remove slash and fuel from their property, especially around their home in the home ignition zone. And we help them do that for free. We are changing it up a little bit this year. So in the past, it was free door-to-door service for any county resident who signed up, but we've run into logistic and staff and contractor limitations, and we know it will continue to grow. So we are offering that same door-to-door free service for our ambassador neighborhoods, our wildfire ambassador neighborhoods. And we will still host regional drop-off days throughout the county so that people who aren't in a ambassador neighborhood can still take advantage of the program. So stay tuned to what those dates will be. Hayden's will be May 10th. And that's also Hayden's General Cleanup Day. And then the city of Steamboat will also be hosting their first slash chipping program May 2nd and 3rd of this year. And there may be more to come from the city. We'll see how successful it is. As for ambassadors, we have, after this training in the spring, which will be done in mid-April, we will have 30 ambassadors in the county, which is amazing. And what our ambassadors do, they're trained volunteers who promote our programs to their neighbors. They act as a credible and trusted source for wildfire education to their neighbors. And depending on their capacity and what they want to see in their neighborhood, they may facilitate community work days. It's really up to the ambassador and what their neighborhood needs to help promote mitigation in their community. And we, of course, support them and make that as easy as possible. Rebate program, we will be offering maximum $300 awards this year for mitigation rebates. And we have 3 different programs, and you can check those out on our website, which I will leave in the chat here soon. I hope to have those applications, or the application period, open right after our conference, so probably the 3rd week of April, and we'll have it open through May. And then people who have been approved to get an award will have until mid-October to prove that they've done the work, and then we will send out awards after that. As for federal funds, we are in better shape than many other nonprofits, and we do rely on BLM funding from the Little Snake office, which is usually a 5-year funding stream. We were able to secure this year's funding, but we're, of course, not sure about the next 4 years. So instead of growing like we hoped we would this year with maybe new staff and some new programs, we're just going to remain in a holding pattern, and hopefully next year we'll have better answers on BLM funding. That's all I have. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Haley. And now we have our last queued up partner update. And so if anyone else is on the call and you wish to share updates, you can put your name in the chat or get ready. But next we have Matt Smith, Headwaters of the Colorado Initiative Watershed Manager from Western Landowners Alliance.
Thanks, Michelle. Happy to be here to say hello and give a quick update. It's good to see some familiar faces. I have to say hi to Haley Cunningham because we're about to finish the same master's program in Gunnison this spring. So the Headwaters of the Colorado Initiative is funded through some federal streams that I'll echo some of the sentiments a lot of you have, where we had some frozen funds that caused me to pivot into our fiscal sponsor, Western Landowners Alliance team. It's a great communications network. If you don't know who they are, I'd recommend checking them out. But I'm really happy to be back doing the job I was hired to do, and that is to promote and get some work done through the Headwaters of Colorado initiative. And that, for folks who don't know, is a multi-state collaborative between Wyoming and Colorado, primarily west of the Divide and north up into the Little Snake watershed. Any questions you might have, feel free to shoot me an email or ask any questions that way. My first line of business going forward will be a lot of outreach to various stakeholders, primarily in the private land sector. So if anyone has input or information about who could be a stakeholder or who would want to get involved with this effort, feel free to let me know. I'll go ahead and share my email in the chat. And yeah, just a quick update. Glad to be back in the place I was meant to be. So feel free to reach out over email or any other way you'd like. And I look forward to collaborating with a lot of you folks. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Matt, for your great updates, and welcome. All of us look forward to working with you in your role. So we have reached the end of our scheduled updates. Does anyone have any other additional updates that you'd like to share? We can either have a partner or we can transition to public comment. First, any partners from organizations that are present or government partners, entities? Many of us wear many hats. Okay. Hearing no other partner updates, are there any public comments? Okay. Well, I think that we can all be released 12 minutes early, and I just want to thank you all so much for coming. As many of us have been iterating, it is just such an important time to work together, and I always find such a recharge of energy in hearing about the fantastic work that's moving forward. You know, here we have on the call partners that are advancing work in our forests and our rivers, partnering with our agricultural producers and our businesses. Helping increase better local representation to support Western Slope issues for decision making, people helping with policies and helping shape policies and energy projects and workforce development. So really, we have such an incredible thought partnership and group of local leaders working together. So keep up your exceptional work. Everybody keep your heads up and keep our heads together to really figure out how we move things forward in impactful ways and in proactive ways. So thank you all for all you do. Happy Wednesday, and enjoy the snow. Take good care.